This is Utah Tech Basketball and the John Judkins Coaches Show.
And hello there, and good evening, everybody. Glad to have you aboard on the John Judkins Coaches Show tonight. I'm Rod Zundel. The coach is feeling a little bit under the weather tonight, so we have a replacement as assistant coach, Gibson Johnson. Gibson, welcome. You're a first-timer.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
And also with him, senior guard Frank Stain. Frank, you're a veteran of the John Judkins Coaches Show. Welcome back.
I'm glad to be back.
Okay, and I'm Rod Zundel. It's glad to have you aboard tonight. Only one game last week, and that was a big one. Rivalry renewed, round 2 against Southern Utah, this time in Cedar City. You beat them in Burns Arena just a couple of weeks ago, and you probably played your best game. And so you were probably hoping for some good things to repeat itself from what you did against the T-Birds here in Burns, right?
Yeah, no doubt. I thought, obviously, we played a really good game against them. Actually, more of a hot start than overall a good game. That second half, they did make a good run, but, that first half we came out lights out and kind of just had the momentum moving forward.
And Frank, you knew that they would be, raring to go and getting some payback. They labeled it what the Red Redemption or something like that when in Cedar City.
Red Revenge.
The Red Revenge. Just talk about the rivalry with Southern Utah. You've been able to do it a couple of years. This is the first year you've done it in conference play, but you've been able to do that the last 2 years. What has it meant just to have a rival like that?
I mean, it's a great opportunity for all of us. It's pretty much what you dream about, especially the game we played at the Burns and how well we played, how packed it was, how in tune the community was. It's something you really only get in the dreams, and I'm just grateful to be a part of it, and it's great college basketball.
Yeah, but since that game in the Burns in Southern Utah, you're feeling good about yourself. Then you went up and had a hard-fought loss at Seattle. Then you came home and had a tough loss here at Tarleton. So just talk about where you guys were after that win in against Southern Utah here as you get ready to just go 54 miles to the north.
Yeah, well, I mean, after a big game like that, you want to keep that momentum rolling, but you also want to stay humble. First thing that we came back and watched film on, the first thing the guys came into, I just want to let them know, hey, we haven't accomplished anything yet. That was a huge win for us. I'm happy for them. The guys deserved it, but we haven't accomplished anything yet. Stay humble, move forward, and honestly, if Seattle and Tarleton don't have one of their better three-point shooting nights on the year against us, both of those games they started 6 for 7 and 7 for 8 from 3. So, honestly, I feel like we were in a good mindset and we just weren't able to close it down the stretch in those games.
All right, so you lost by 10 to Southern Utah. It was one of those ugly, you were kind of feeling each other out for a little bit, kind of an ugly rivalry game, was it not? Everything wasn't smooth. Is that the way it seemed to you, Frank?
Yeah, it was honestly it was more Jimmy's and Joe's and X's and O's, like Schroeder likes to say. I think we know each other too well, so it was kind of just whoever can make tougher shots, which I think they did better than us. They ended up making some hezzy threes and crazy stuff that we wanted them to shoot, and they just ended up beating us. So we got to tip our hat to that. Okay,
let's go back to Friday night. Roll it, Sean. A great atmosphere, too. You had it here when you played them, but it was a great atmosphere in Cedar City. It had to be fun just to come out and see that arena like it was, right, Frank?
Man, our crowd is way better.
All right, you came right out of the game, went toe-to-toe, back and forth the first 10 minutes, Coach.
Yeah, I mean, the game plan was play inside out. We've loved Jacob Nichols shooting the ball. He's been awesome, one of the best in the country this year.
And then Pope had one of his better games too, as well. Out of the last 2 or 3.
Yeah, you see Pope get down there on the block as well. Cam, I thought, had a lot of good shots on the game, just didn't fall for him. But
he had his first 2 buckets in the 10 minutes, and then hit another shot the rest of the way. They really focused on taking him out, didn't they?
Yeah, they did a good job. But honestly, I felt like Cam got a lot of good looks. We stuck with him. We told him to keep his head up, and he just wasn't able to hit those shots. But we're going to ride with him no matter what.
Yeah, he tried to take it inside, but they did a nice job taking it away from him. You fell behind by 11. You needed someone to pick up that scoring in the place of good, and you got it, especially from Pope right there. And then Dancel Leader off the bench with a big spark.
Yeah, Pope's been good for us all year. He was big time in this game, and we rely on him to do that. And then Sel, when he brings his energy and his passion, we're really hard to stop. I mean, if he's hitting his threes and then crashing the boards hard, he's a huge lift for us off the bench.
Then Pope came down, hit another 3, and you trailed by 4 at the half. What was the talk in the locker room at halftime?
Well, obviously we needed to make a couple adjustments. I don't think we set the tone as we would have liked to. But we were getting good shots, probably a more emphasis on just dominating the boards.
Yeah, Christensen really started things off. You guys went on a 7-0 run in the first minute to tie it up at 38.
Yeah, we came out strong. I mean, you can see we're attacking the basket, getting a lot better shots. We want to play inside out, getting through Tanner. We'll take inside out basketball all day. Tanner to Jacob there for 3.
Yeah, so it was tied at 38, but a few minutes later you're down 5, and then here you come again. Started off by Pope.
Yeah, it was a battle all night. I mean, we knew they'd make their runs, and we knew we'd go on runs of our own. We just had to stick with it.
Key point right here, off the block, and then Gonzalez finishes it off.
Big time winning play. Trey walling up like that, that's exactly how you teach it. And then we need Noah to be aggressive in transition. When he's looking to score, we're a lot better.
Yeah, Trey, he's been able to defend that rim very well the last couple games. Frank, what does that do when you have a big block like that and you come down and you convert?
Oh, man, that's a crazy energy booster. Everybody off the bench gets up, and on the court you just feel like you have a big dude back there, and it makes you want to press the ball more, so we just funnel them right to him.
Nichols cuts the lead to 3. Here's a big play right there.
Yeah, you see a big screen by Frank taking 2 guys out, allows Tanner to come through, wide open dunk, and then catches the body, puts the ball on the rim.
So you're up 53-52 with 8 minutes and 45 seconds left, and then you went the next 4 minutes without a bucket and tried to dig out of a hole, a 13-point hole, but you just kind of ran out of time. You had that 4-minute stretch. Frank, What is it about you guys and about that 4 or 5 minute stretch? You usually have something like that every now and then that really hurts you.
I don't know. It's been a constant thing in the flow of our offense, but we've been trying to figure it out all year. It's kind of hard to talk about offense and what we want to do because we're so selfless. So when we get in the dry spell, it's kind of up to all of us instead of just one person trying to say they want to go score.
It was just one of those knockdown, drag out, kind of like we mentioned before, an ugly rivalry game. You lost by 10, much closer than that. It just went back and forth. There were some highs and lows. You guys did a lot of good things. Frank, what is it that you were most pleased about with the way you guys played, even when you were down and it looked like it could be on the verge of something bad happening? You guys came back and fought back every time.
Yeah, we've been focusing a lot on not being too high or too low. I was really proud of the guys for just staying solid. And I think we did end up getting a little too low when we had that dry spell. But I think a testament to our work from the beginning of the year has been our ability to come back and stop runs. And I think we definitely improved, and that was a big time thing for us.
Field goal percent, you guys for the game, 42%, nearly 31%, 8 of 26 from three-point land. And free throws, you only got to the free throw line 15 times, but you made 13. That's your best percentage of the year, almost 87%. And they got to the free throw line only 20. So unlike all the games that we've seen the last month or two, not a lot of fouls called in this one.
Yeah, and that's usually a strength of ours. Nationally speaking, we're one of the best in the country getting to the line. So, obviously we wish we would have gone to the line more, but you got to tip your hat to SUU, man. Sometimes you just don't make as many shots as the other team did. Like you said, 31% from 3 for us, which is not good enough, and 44 for them, which is good enough. And then you add in the fact that we lost the boards by 16, and, that those things add up. So
second chance points, 20 for them, only 6 for you.
Yeah.
That was a big difference right there. So how do you explain that?
Well, we went through it. We break down our film and show it up to the guys, and how they take that and respond and move forward is pretty much whether or not we're going to get better or worse as the season goes on, right? So we address that in film, and hopefully we make those adjustments going on to Texas this week.
Frank, that's the coach speaking. As you as a player and a leader on this team, how do you explain 22nd chance points to only 6 for you guys?
Heart, just intensity. I think pretty much every game we've lost, we either got out-rebounded or got turned over a lot. So, honestly, it's up to the guys out there, and I'll take responsibility. I'll blame all the seniors. We just got to be the guys to go out there and set the tone and hit somebody. I try to get 2 fouls every game just by hitting someone and showing my teammates that putting your body on the line is not a bad thing.
But this was a rarity, like you said. You guys usually get to the line more so than any opponent you played, and so you just take this as okay. It's one of those games where it just didn't happen. The officials weren't calling it, and they took advantage of it a little bit better than we did. Is that how you do that, Frank?
Yeah, I think so, because I mean, you can't really pull up many games that it happened that way.
Yeah.
Except for like on the boards, we've gotten beat on the boards a few times, but as far as getting to the free throw line, I think we do a pretty good job of it, and we just didn't do it that night.
So, Coach, is that going to be a point of emphasis as we go to Texas Rio Grande Thursday night and then Arlington on Saturday? All right, get back to what Utah Tech does well, playing inside out and getting to the free throw line.
No doubt, and I think that those rivalry games can get real chippy, and it's not easy as an official to keep those games under wraps.
But they did.
They actually did a pretty decent job. Other than that call on Noah Gonzalez, the 50-50 ball that he got there first.
Yeah.
Other than that, I honestly thought that they did a pretty good job. But that's also how SUU plays. They weren't going to make it easy for us, and I feel like going on the road this week, our style of play, we'll be able to get back to what we do on the road.
All right, this is the John Judkins Coaches Show. Utah Tech basketball coming off a 10-point loss in Cedar against Southern Utah last Friday. They got 2 games this week in Texas. Instead of John Judkins, he's a little bit under the weather. We got assistant coach Gibson Johnson filling in, and also Frank Stain, senior guard, with us as well. All right, you dropped to 3-11 in conference play, 11-16 overall. When you look at the standings right now in the seedings, you guys are 10th, and I think if we were to play the WAC tournament right now, you'd play Sam Houston, I believe, or somebody.
He's Tarleton.
Tarleton, yeah. I mean,
It's whoever's in
yeah,
5th, 7th.
I think
so. Anyway, I think one of the So, are you looking at the seeding and the standings every day, Frank?
I do if I see it. If I see it, if I come across it, or if I get curious. But honestly, for me, it really doesn't matter who we play. I just want to be able to get out there. That's all we've been saying the whole time. And after what happened to New Mexico State, we've honestly just shifted our mindset from not who we're going to play, but who we're going to be when we play.
Yeah, tomorrow we leave for Edinburgh, Texas, right down on the Mexico border to take on UTRGV. You played them December 29th, the opener of the WAC conference, and you beat them by 15. They're 5-10 in the WAC. Saturday they were supposed to play New Mexico State, but that's a forfeit win for them because of the situation. As we look at the highlights of that game on December 29th, what can we tell about the Vaqueros?
Well, they have really talented scoring guards. We got to do a great job on number 1 Johnson and number 4 Johnston.
Yeah,
they've been really hard to stop. Number 1 Johnson is the top scorer in the
Justin
state of Texas.
Johnson,
He's really talented. So we have to.
And Will Johnson's a dynamic 3-point shooter. Johnston,
the Australian guard.
But you held Justin Johnson. You held him. He averages 21. You held him about 10 points in that first game.
Yeah, we did a really good job on him. You could tell that it was a focus of ours. We'll go right back to it. I mean, he's a talented player, and they love to run and gun and kind of play to those advantages. So, transition defense will be a big focus point for us.
And Frank, as a player, when you play a team for the second time, seems like forever since you played him, but does everything come back and say, okay, we can do this again, how we got the win the first time?
Yeah, for sure. You obviously think about what you did, but we like to make adjustments. It's been a long conference season, and they've made adjustments, so we're just trying to go out there like it was 0-0.
Yeah, and they got off to an 0-4 start to the season, but they've really started playing some pretty good basketball the last month, haven't they?
Yeah, they had a big win at Grand Canyon.
Yeah, in the next segment, we're going to show how that happened. Yeah.
Yeah, no, they're tough. I mean, I don't think any team in this conference is just an easy beat.
Exactly.
You got to go in and you got to earn your win every single night.
All right, well, it's time to take a break. We will get a look at how UTRGV got basically their biggest win of the season on the road last week. That's when the John Judkins Coaches Show returns.
The road to success is not the path you find, but the trail you blaze. Beginning at St. George State Academy, then Dixie State University, and finally, Utah Tech University, this historic institution has risen from the desert as one of the fastest growing, most affordable, safest, and rapidly evolving universities in the nation. Our Polytechnic mission creates hands-on learning opportunities from day one in all of our 200 programs. Through internships, experiential learning, and industry partnerships, I will graduate career ready. Although this journey was not always easy, I know that education is the single most powerful tool to change the world. Disappointments are inevitable and change is inescapable, but difficulties mastered are opportunities won. In Trailblazer Nation, you will not only discover who you are meant to become, but have the greatest time of your life. Go Utah Tech!
Discover,
explore,
engage,
aspire. You are on a journey to discover what you enjoy, what you are good at, and what you hope to learn in college.
to help you explore and learn about not only yourself, but majors, experiences, and future career opportunities.
Engage with Career Services. This journey does not have to be stressful, confusing, or leave you feeling alone.
Career Services is available to help you aspire from college student to career professional at any level of your education and development.
The staff will answer your questions, provide resources, and offer encouragement every step of the way.
Career Services will help you with major exploration, career exploration, targeted internships, job searches, networking opportunities, events, and so much more.
You will see them in the classroom, around campus, and out in the community, working to help employers connect with our Trailblazers.
Visit Career Services on the hall and 5th floor or drop into our career lab.
Follow Career Services on social media for all things career.
We hope to see you soon.
All right, before we head to Edinburgh, Texas tomorrow, the Trailblazer swim team is already in Texas competing at the WAC championships. For Utah Tech sophomore Allie Boynton, just to be in the pool competing is nothing short of a miracle. Allie was near death just 2 years ago during her senior year in high school.
It was my senior year at Woods Cross High, and I was going to my championship meet, which was here at Dixie State or Utah Tech, and I finished my entire championship meet and I had like some arm pain, like it was right in my bicep. Didn't really know what it was. I went to go see a sports medicine doctor, and when they hadn't even taken me back to the room yet, but they just saw my arm and they noticed that it was just swelling and purple, and they diagnosed me with a blood clot and rushed me to the IHC hospital in Salt Lake. And there, I had the blood clot taken out and broken up. I was diagnosed with Paget-Schroeder syndrome, which is when your first rib is compressing on your vein that runs from your arm to your heart, and it caused the blood clot.
Yeah, can you imagine that? You're finally tuned. You're going to be in college and be an athlete in college, and then you're told that you may not live. She had to have the rib removed so they could get at the blood clot, and she almost lost her life, but now she is back competing at a high level, and she enters the WAC championship this week in Texas, second in her event. You can watch Allie's entire inspirational story in our Trailblazer Tales segment by clicking on UtahTechTrailblazers.com. Just an incredible story for Allie Boynton. We're glad she's back and in the pool. All right. In other sports going on around the campus, Utah Tech women's basketball team moved to 8-6 in WAC play after splitting 2 home games last week. Trailblazers will now play on the road at Seattle and Cal Baptist, their final 2 regular season road games of the year this week. Utah Tech softball went 2-3 in the in-season tournament in San Diego last weekend. The Trailblazers now will host St. Louis and Weber State in a 3-day round-robin tournament at Carl Brooks Field this weekend. Utah Tech baseball opened the season on a sour note by dropping 3 of 4 at home to Portland over the weekend at Bruce Hurst Field. Utah Tech, led by Tyson Fisher, became the career home run leader at Utah Tech. He homered twice and drove in 5 runs in their only win of the weekend. Baseball team will now host Wichita State in a 4-game set at Bruce Hurst Field this weekend. Utah Tech women's tennis team, 3 matches last weekend at UNLV. And the Trailblazer women's golf team finished 3rd in their first tournament they hosted as a D1 program last week at Green Spring Golf Course. Meanwhile, the men's golf team will play at the CBU Joust Tournament Monday and Tuesday in California. For all the latest in Trailblazer athletics, there's a lot going on. Visit UtahTechTrailblazers.com. All right, guys, tomorrow morning we hit the road. We go to Edinburgh, Texas to take on the UTRGV Vaqueros. Thursday and then Saturday afternoon, we will take on Texas Arlington. First time you've taken on Texas Arlington this year. But UTRGV, we talked about, we played them in the opener of the WAC conference, got a win. But they lost their first 4 conference games, but now they're starting to play a little bit better with the forfeit win, New Mexico State on Saturday. They're 5-10 in the WAC, 14-14 overall. But if we can go back to Wednesday night, on the road at Grand Canyon. They got a big win led by their big guns that we talked about earlier, Justin Johnson and Will Johnson. Justin Johnson had 24 points and 9 rebounds.
Yeah, he's talented, man, and he gets them going. He's kind of just the gas behind their engine, and when he's getting downhill, he's hard to stop, and then that kind of opens up everything for Johnston as well, right? Like once he's driving down the lane, now Johnston can open it up from 3, and they're a tough team to beat. And
Frank, you're going to probably have the task of guarding these two guys at least at some point during the games, right?
No, I love that. I really want to start on what's his name, Justin, number 1. I want him. I love those matchups.
Yeah, because he is the leading scorer. All right, in the final seconds, they were down 2, and then there's your guy, Johnston, hitting the 3. And then final seconds, the rebound right there by Dalen Williams. Put it back up and in with about 1 second left, and that was the game winner. That's a big win on the road at Grand Canyon. And Dalen Williams, boy, he's a rebounding machine. He had 12 against Grand Canyon. He had 9 against you guys.
Yeah, he's from Cali. Shout out L.A., shout out the city.
Yeah, no, he was impressive, and this was a back-and-forth battle. It's not like UTRGV came in and just stole this. They were ahead for most of the second half. It was kind of a lot of lead changes, but this is a team to take seriously. This is a really good team. So
yeah, and Frank, how is that as a player on one side, and when you make that rebound layup for the game winner, it's awesome, but when you have it and you play great defense and they get the offensive rebound and put back, it's demoralizing at any point in the game, but for a game winner like that, how do you handle that as a player?
It's really a double-edged sword. That's a time where you can't stay mid-level. It's either going to be a high or a low, and I think it's just a test of your character. If you're on the bad side, what are you going to do about it next time? And if you're lucky enough to be in that position and make it happen, then you're blessed for the night.
Yeah. So when you look at them, and I'm sure you've looked at a lot of tape, so what do you see different the way they're playing now, UTRGV, than when you met them in the opener of the WAC schedule?
Well, I honestly think that they're playing very similar. I just think that we did a good job of taking them out of their stuff. Like you said, we did a great job on Justin Johnson. I believe he was like 2 for 12 on the game or something. But we did a really good job on him. And if you're able to take one of those 2 guys out, you give yourself a good chance to win the ball game.
Yeah, Justin Johnson, 2 of 12 shooting, 0 for 1 from three-point land, 3 turnovers. He only had, what did he have? Justin Johnson had 5 points.
Yeah, and I think we got him in some early foul trouble as well in the first half.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, I they were the same team now that they were back then. They're dangerous. They were dangerous when they came in and played us. We just did a good job, and hopefully we can do a great job again, getting their guards in tough spots to be successful.
Well, they shot 23% from beyond the arc, 6 of 26, well below their average because they're a pretty good three-point shooting team. But Will Johnston, the three-point shooter, he was 4 of 12. So, below his average, he's about a 45% three-point shooter. So, mission accomplished, right, Frank, on the 2 big guns for UTRGV? Yeah,
we like to take pride in that and shutting down their best guys and making sure that we're all on the same page when guarding them.
So, when you look at the stats for Utah Tech in that first game, you had Isaiah Pope with 20, and that was the game that Gooden didn't play most of the second half because he got injured, so you had to kind of try things on the run, right? Yeah. And so that was kind of a difficult situation to be in because Gooden didn't play the second half.
Yeah, no doubt. And, I mean, he was on a tear at that point, too. The last 4 games before then, he had been, huge for us scoring. And so we had to find a way, and, that's basketball. It's not always going to be simple. You're going to have to adjust and react, and that's what we did, and credit to our guys.
Yeah, Frank, you were 50% from the field, 3 of 6. You had 5 rebounds. And an assist, so you had a pretty solid all-around game, and you got to be happy with the way you played and also confident by knowing that you can control as much as you can. It's a whole different ballgame when they're on their home floor, let's face it, those 2 great shooters. Mm-hmm. But you have to feel pretty confident saying, okay, we've done it before, we can do it again.
Yeah, for sure. We're definitely we're excited. We obviously lost a couple that we shouldn't have let slip, and we think this is a good opportunity to bounce back.
Okay. All right. So that's Thursday night, 5:30 tip-off on the Fan. 5:15 pregame show, and then it's a 1 o'clock game, Utah time, on Saturday at Arlington. So briefly, how do you handle that when you want to just focus so much on UTRGV? Do you have a game plan already, and have you looked at tape and dissected what you need to do for Arlington, even though that's 2 days after?
Yeah, so the scouts are broken up between the assistant coaches, and so, each game is assigned a coach, and so obviously the person who's focusing on Arlington will be a little more locked in on Arlington, but I think in general, you just take it one play at a time and worry about what's in front of you. I think all of us are poured in right now to getting a W at UTRGV, focusing on whatever we can do right now in practice and travel to prepare for that game.
But even though the coach that's got the Arlington breakdown, he doesn't bring that up, and you guys don't talk about that till after the UTRGV, right?
Correct. He just keeps it in his back pocket, and I mean, you can't take this game off either just because you have the game on Saturday. You got to make sure that you're locked in and able to help the team be successful however you can on Thursday, and then worry about Saturday when it comes around. But they'll have the plays and everything cut up ready for him.
Yeah. Now, Frank, you're a COVID senior, but you still have another year of eligibility, right? And have you decided yet if you're coming back or not?
He's putting you on the spot.
No comment.
Okay, no comment. So, with that being said, and I wasn't putting you on the spot, what I wanted to know is, with your career coming down, if you don't come back, this could be your last road trip other than the WAC championship. Has that crossed your mind?
Yeah, it's really been settling in for me. Honestly, I got pretty emotional at the SUU game, just like knowing. Obviously, I can't give anything away, but just knowing like my journey and my process. Honestly, my first year here when we were D2, they had a point guard. I forgot his name. His name was like Nick or something like that. And he was like, if we played y'all, we'll probably beat y'all by like 40. And I always kept that in the back of my head. So anytime we play SUU, everybody's always like, you look so locked in. And I'm just like, it's just very personal for me. So, yeah, going on this road trip with my guys, I'm just trying to enjoy every moment.
Yeah, and you're from Cali. Right. And so we've had you on the show a little bit, but once your basketball career comes to an end, you want to continue playing it after your time is here. But what are you majoring in, and what do you want to be when you have to not have basketball in your life?
Obviously, when the ball stops bouncing, I'm a marketing major. I'll be graduating in May. And honestly, me and my brother are trying to build an empire, just having our own businesses. And I want to do the marketing side, and he's doing everything else. So,
but marketing what? Anything yet?
I don't know. I'm really just a hooper, honestly. I'm getting a degree. I'm getting a degree from my back pocket, but I'm trying to make most of my money shooting basketball.
That's awesome. That's awesome. All right, Gibson. Since this is your first time here, give us a little bit of background on you and where you come from, what you're all about.
Well, I'm from Centerville, Utah. I went to Viewmont High School. I played basketball at Salt Lake Community College. My second year there, we were lucky enough to win a national championship, which kind of springboarded the rest of my career up to this point. I went on to play basketball at the University of Hawaii, where I returned as a coach. And after spending 5 of the last 6 years in Hawaii, I found myself here with Coach Judkins and the program. I mean, I love it here. I love everything about it. I think this is kind of a sleeping giant here. We got a lot of potential moving forward. So I'm really excited about the position I'm in, and proud of what I've done to get here.
And Frank, you guys have it kind of nice because you are warm here in St. George. Can you imagine playing in Hawaii though? I mean, that'd be tough to focus on anything, right?
Boy, I was born in Belize, so don't take me to Hawaii. I might not ever leave.
Oh, you were born in Belize, huh?
I'm full Belizean.
So when did you move here?
My mom moved me here when I was like 3 months old.
Okay.
But I've been back a few times, and I still have a lot of family there, so that's home for me.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, you learn something new every day. Did you know that?
I did actually. You talked about it earlier in the year. I've actually been to Belize as well. So
okay, now he comes from a golf family. I know you guys went out to Big Shots Golf, but he comes from a golf family. His dad's a golf pro.
Oh, I didn't know that.
I
could tell by his swing though. He knew something.
Yeah, I know. I knew his dad long before I ever come in contact with him. Yeah, he was a pro at Lakeside and then Eaglewood up in North Salt Lake.
Yeah, so he's been kind of all over the place with his golf career. But.
Okay, guys, thanks for coming in. Gibbs, glad to have you here. Frank, we'll see you on the bus and the plane tomorrow.
Thanks for having us, Ron.
All right, that'll do it for the John Judkins Coaches Show. Thanks for coming in, guys. Thanks, big thanks to our producer Sean Denham. Donovan, Jake Palmer, and Media Relations at Utah Tech, Steve Johnson. Trailblazers at Texas Rio Grande, Thursday night, 5:30 on the Fan, pregame at 5:15. I'm Rod Zundel. Thanks for hanging out with us tonight. And as always, we'll talk to you on Thursday. And remember, go Trailblazers.
This has been a production from a podcast studio.